play, great blocking up front just to get the ball carrier an opportunity in the second level of the defense. And then at that point, it was make a guy miss and use the speed. That was a perfectly executed play.
And the PAT makes it 7-0.
UCLA 7, Utah 0.
They're getting set to kick it away, and that last score took a little oomph out of this crowd. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. They'll try to get the edge with the toss play here. Right there to stop him, and that'll be a loss of 3.
Offense trying to go pitch and trying to get to the outside, but how about the speed on defense, scraping down the line of scrimmage, rallying to the football, and creating a negative play.
Not what they had in mind to start this drive. Here comes 2nd and 13. Tight end now in motion. And some room to work. That'll be a gain of 5 out to the 27.
And defensively, one of the most important things is stopping the run, being physical up front. That was too easy for this offense. You can't give up 5 and 6 yards of pop on the ground. Like, that is a recipe for disaster. They got to be more physical, get off the ball, get downhill faster.
Back to pass, it's Dampier. Pressure coming. Trying to make magic with his feet. Got away from trouble and got rid of it. Got him in, it's Parker. Right midfield, he's got room. Big play, takes him into plus territory. He's out of bounds at the 47.
Man, this offense is so dangerous, Reese. They've got dudes all over the field that can make plays. There's a big gainer in the pass game.
You get a chunk of yards like that, now the defense is really on its heels. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be 2nd down.
And I like where the quarterback got, because I think he needed to check the football down, but the pressure got there a little bit too fast, and he just didn't have enough time to get it to his running back and maybe put a positive spin on this play instead of an incompletion.
Backed up now, here's 2nd and long. Tight end in motion, see how the D reacts. On 2nd down, he'll try to make the connection this time. This time, it's complete.
One of the things you love about this running back is not only can he run between the tackles, but he's also a weapon in this offense catching the football.
They'll try to run for it. They thought they could just run it on 3rd and short, but this defense was there to make the stop. And the Utes want to move quickly. Quarterback making checks. On 4th down, they'll throw for it. He's got it, 1st down and more. They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the 1st down.
Wow, and that was just a bang-bang play. On that 4th down, the coverage was tight. QB had his receiver. He knew where he wanted to go with it, but the only way that ball gets completed is if he puts a little extra mustard on it, and he shows you the arm talent on the throw.
He'll pull it down. Nice job by this junior quarterback to get it done on the ground.
Gotta tell you, I love this call early in the game. You know why? You get your quarterback hit early. He gets hit. Wait a minute. Nerves settle. Everything's good. You show the defense that he's a threat to run the football. I love that call early in a football game.
The Utes will snap it on 1st and 10. Wide receiver going in motion. Pressure was too much. They get him at the 15. They've got a solid drive working, but now looking at 2nd and 11. Looking to pass. It's Dampier. Got his man. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Well, that helped the completion percentage, but the idea was yards after the catch, and it didn't happen.
Great job on defense, too. See ball, get ball. They saw exactly when that ball was spit out. You saw the defense fly to the football.
They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. And a missed opportunity on 3rd down as the defense knocks it free, and 4th down is coming up. And they'll send out the kicker to try a field goal. Didn't make him sweat at all. It's good. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
All right, guys, got a final score on one of the more intriguing games this week. Florida State was able to come away with the victory, but it was not the type of dominant win we've seen in Tallahassee over the years. A win, yes, but this one lacked style points. Regardless the outcome today, guys, these are still 2 quality programs. Proof the sport is as healthy as ever.
Yeah, how about that? Sounds as if they had a good ball game there. Kevin, thanks for the update. Grabbed in the middle. It's Matthews. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that 1st down marker. Still some work to do after that last completion at 2nd down.
And as a quarterback, when you're throwing these slant routes against man coverage, location is so important. You want to put the football in a place that your receiver can catch the ball and continue advancing. So nice job by that QB, putting the football right on the face mask of his wide receiver.
The mighty Utah student section alive and bringing the noise on 3rd down. They'll run it out of the shotgun. He did not make it a stone wall on 3rd down.
And how about the timing of the linebacker on the blitz to get in the backfield and get the tackle for loss?
Is there anything better for a linebacker than to run on a blitz and nobody's home except the back?
Such a great feeling when the Moses parts the Red Sea and the hole opens up and you go fit.
Tries to find a little more running room on that return, but he'll be stopped at the 36. They'll try to put a drive together starting from the 36. In the middle, it's Bentley. And they get him down at the 43, but this is the kind of explosive play you want to build on. And the Utes are in the hurry-up. Looking for a man. It's Dampier. Buying some time. He'll throw it. Intercepted. A first-half turnover can swing momentum. Not a lot of room on the return, but he'd already gotten the most important thing, the ball, and they have it at the 46. First snap of this drive will come from the 46. From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. This time he doesn't get loose, and finally the defense gets him bottled up behind the line. As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter. Wants to fire on 2nd down. Flips it out on the screen. And after the stop, that is going to put a bow on this first quarter. This offense had a little extra time to think about it. Let's see what they have on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Finds his big tight end. Nice job to pick up the first down, and they'll spot it at the 42. The Bruins come to the line with a fresh set of downs. On the run, it's Thomas. You'll take this every time. 5 yards on the first down play.
Right, great little run there. Listen, it wasn't phenomenal. He didn't get a first down, but what does it do? Now it makes second down easier. The play caller looking at his sheet going, all right, I can throw it, I can run it. Still in a great position. Way to stay ahead of the chains.
To the air, it's Iamaleava. Fires to the tight end. He's loose. And he's brought down after a nice game.
All right, second quarter, getting closer to the half. Offense is still having a lot of success stringing some first downs together. Defense is going to need to figure something out before they get to halftime.
They're in the red zone, and they'll pass it. And they couldn't make the connection on the long shot.
The defense did a really nice job on that play, closing in on the intended target. They had 2 guys near that ball.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. They'll throw again after the incompletion. Steps away. On the move, he fires. He makes a grab. He gets it in. Touchdown, UCLA.
And after starting the season 0-1, this offense felt like they just left plays on the field in that first game. But so far today, they're taking advantage. QB's making good decisions. Guys are stepping up. They've limited the mental mistakes. They haven't turned the football over. It's a different-looking offense here in Game 2.
Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. The ball bounces through the end zone, and it will be a touchback. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half.
Timeout, Utah.
Here we go. Back to pass, it's Dampier. And the physical play there forces the incompletion on first down.
Well, that looked like it was going to be a completion, but how about the defender making the hit and forcing the incompletion?
Last incompletion leaves them still sitting at their own 25 with 2nd and 10. Misfired on the last play. They'll go back to the air. With the catch, it's Parker. Quick step and go. Finally corralled, but not before. He picks up the first down. The Utes racing to the line in the hurry-up.
Nice job by the quarterback, seeing the receiver come open, getting him the football, making the first down, and they like to do this. When they make a first down, they want to go fast. They want to crank up the tempo.
Complete in the middle. They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs.
If they're going to sit back in zone, I'm going to make sure I know exactly what they're doing, find those holes, find those crossing patterns, and take advantage of that zone coverage.
This first half of offense won't go on the highlight reel so far, but starting to get things moving, it's 1st and 10. Buys a little extra time. He's going to run it. Out of bounds, right at the 20-yard line, edge of the red zone, and they have their eyes on the score. Just on the edge of the red zone, 1st and 10 from the 21. Looking downfield on first down. Makes the grab. And the catch and run into the end zone. Touchdown, Utah! Timing and better execution, that is just what a quarterback and wide receiver need.
And it's timing, it's route running, right? You got to be precise. You got to know exactly what yard you're running to. The quarterback receiver on the same page. That's why you get the touchdown.
They're set to kick it off. Do you think this crowd's going to get loud when their defense comes on the field? Not going to risk a return here. He'll make the fair catch. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. On the move, it's Thomas.
Defense, man, you got to go low, and you got to chop that tree down, right? Go with the legs, take the legs out from underneath them so he can't continue to churn those puppies out and get extra yards after contact like he did there.
Keep it on the ground. Picks up the first down. Nothing but green grass down the middle. Turning on the Jets. Touchdown, Bruins. Once he got a step, it was all over, right to the house.
Huge play. It's so nice to have guys that can create these explosive plays like this. You hand it to him, he can do the rest. Look at the speed. Look at the elusiveness. Get into the end zone. Nice run.
And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Boys, expect the unexpected in college football, and for some, this update could fall under that category. Nebraska endured a hostile crowd and the challenge that always comes with playing away from Memorial Stadium, and the Huskers came away with the win. It wasn't a blowout, but it is still a W. All that speculation all week, and now we know. But something tells me, fellas, we haven't heard the last of either of these teams.
Kevin, thanks a lot for that one. Sounds as if they had a good one there. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. He just couldn't hold his water long enough at the line of scrimmage. It'll be a penalty. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. Maybe some confusion on the snap count. It's going to be a false start. Mental errors like that just kill drives. We'll see if they can overcome it. To the air. It's Dampier. Pulls it in. It's Parker. And they swarm him under. And the Utes headed quickly to the line.
And that's why this running back's a big weapon here, right? Because not only can he run the ball, but he can catch it too. Even running flat routes when you know the ball's going to be in the air a long way, he can adjust to it, make something good happen after the catch. And quite honestly, they need him because they've thrown a couple of picks now in this game. They've got to find a way to get this guy more involved.
Send the tight end in motion. The defense calls the timeout. Their second of the day as they try to get their act together. The Utes come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep this drive moving. Making side adjustments here. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. They're going to keep this drive going. They'll have to make a play on 3rd and long from the 26. Trying play action. Pocket breaking down. That pass not closes. He got drilled trying to deliver it, and it'll bring up 4th down. And the Utes will call on their punt team. They'll have to boot it away for the first time tonight. He'll field the punt and take it back. He's brought down, but a really solid effort to pick up every bit of yardage he could on the punt return. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They'll start this drive and snap it from the 40. The give to the back. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
The big fella in the middle, man. Those defensive tackles, they go such a long way in deciding and really stopping the other team's run game. Just forcing contact with those guards and those centers, owning the line of scrimmage, and getting running backs on the ground.
After picking up a couple at 2nd and 8. Looking to throw, it's Iamaleava. Quarterback doing what he does best. He can move. He's going to take off. They get him down after the scramble, but he's able to pick up a few and turn it into a positive play.
This is a defense that's going to be aggressive, and they're not going to just sit back and rush 4 guys on that play. They're going to send the blitz. You're getting smaller, faster guys fighting fire with fire. You know this quarterback.
Oh, a lot of space. It's a seam wide open. Really nice pickup on that one as they get it to the 36. It'll be first down.
Great job, too, by the QB there. Holding the ball as long as possible, allowing the pass rush to get upfield, and at the very last second, getting it to his guy so that he can go get the first down.
We're at the 2-minute timeout. They've built a big lead, and they'll try to pile on a little more before the break. And the Bruins have it with a 1st and 10. From the gun, running back on the move. And he was able to run through 1 tackle, but still only a modest gain.
And that's a really nice play. It's impressive. When it's first down, the defense thinks you might be running the football. You still can line up, get some movement at the point of attack, and find a little crease for your running back.
After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. Back to pass. Quick completion on the out route. Out of bounds after a big pickup on the play, just a couple of yards short of the goal line.
And that's the beauty of this offense and this playmaker at wide receiver. Throw the ball short, but what he does after the catch, he's just got so much speed, so dynamic with the football. And this is the...
And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, UCLA.
The identity of this offense is their ability to run the football. They're doing that in this game. That's now 3 rushing touchdowns on the day.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And with the extra point, they're on top by 18. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays and closed the deal with a 3-yard touchdown run. Kickoff unit getting some extra work as this lead has really grown. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. He wants to change this route. Buys a little time. Throwing on the run. Brings it down on the right side. Oh, he's getting ahead of steam. And he's in for the touchdown, but hang on just Those linemen can get a little aggressive sometimes in pass pro, and it'll cost him. Touchdown off the board, and they'll back up 5. Motion from the back. To the air, it's Dampier. Bringing the heat. Quarterback adapting. Couldn't find anybody to throw to. He'll just toss it away. It'll be second down.
Know the situation, know the game of football, right? When I start to get outside the pocket, I don't see anything there, I can throw the ball away. I don't have to take a sack, get a lost yardage play. I can just throw the ball out of bounds as long as it passes the line of scrimmage. We go on to the next down. No harm, no foul.
Offense gets set for second down. Looking to fire. Right down the middle. Complete downfield. The Utes will hustle to the line. On 3rd and short, they'll try to pick it up with the pass. And the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down. The defense burns their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
Timeout, UCLA.
They'll unleash the Wildcat to keep this drive alive. Keeps looking downfield. Hauls it in, the first down and more. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see which way that's going to go. That one hurts. They thought they'd move the chains on 4th down. Instead, they back up. And the Utes will try to pin them back with the punt. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Hauls it in and looking upfield. They'll put a stop to that return at about the 37-yard line. Looking to throw, it's Iamaleava. Throws to the tight end. Got him downfield. Defense on skates that time. They finally drag him down at the 42.
It's important on offense to get the tight ends involved in the passing game. These are big fellas that can run. This guy's a big target, so nice job on that play.
Looking to throw on 1st down. Intercepted, and finally this defense makes a play. Taking it the other way. And a big return after the INT sets up the offense for this possession.
There were a lot of people really excited about what this guy could do. Some were saying he could be an All-American, and he's proving them right. That's already his 2nd interception early in this college football season. Offenses are going to figure it out. They're going to stop throwing this guy's way. You just get in trouble when you try.
So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half.
Switch it.
And this one will be stopped for no gain. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break.
Great team defense on that run play. Everybody doing their job. People winning their one-on-ones, D linemen staying in their gaps, linebackers and DBs filling. You just can't do it better.
Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. He might want another play. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. They'll line up for a 2nd down play. They'll move the tight end. Dropping back, it's Dampier. Finds his big tight end. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. It'll be 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Snags it. And the defense able to get him down, and that should bring us to the end of the half. Looking to throw. Fires to the end zone. And he throws another interception, his 3rd one of the night. The 40. The 20. 10. And he will roll into the end zone. Touchdown, Bruins.
And we are officially in blowout mode. This offense has been up and down the field. We've seen so many explosive plays, and they score again before going in at halftime, guys. I'm hoping we can have a running clock here in the second half.
And the kick is good, but there's a penalty flag, and I think it's going to be roughing the kicker. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update.
UCLA 35, Utah 10.
That deficit's still pretty big, and they'll try to get it right back and cut into it with an onside kick. Not much drives more anxiety than waiting to see if the hands team can corral the onside kick, and they do.
Well, they're trying to pounce on their opponent with the lead in the second half, trying to steal a possession, but give the return team credit. They may not have been set up perfectly for that onside kick, but they're Johnny on the spot, and now their offense is licking their chops, hoping to go down and score.
QB draw. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
And the defense doing a great job committing to the run. When you commit to the run like this, obviously you can give up some plays in the passing game, but you got to stop the run first.
After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line 2nd and 7. Back to throw, it's Iamaleava. Blasted as he lets it go. Oh, it's picked off. Oh, he was hoping to make something out of that return, but they'll have it 1st down at the 39.
We've just seen in this game the ball has just gotten away from him a little bit. A couple of times, just hasn't been able to put it where he wants to, and as a result, that's now his 2nd pick thrown in this game.
They'll put the ball in play from just inside their own 40 at the 39. The offense changing the play. Wide receiver comes in motion. Looking to throw on 1st down. Under fire. Pressure is on the way, and the pressure has arrived, and down he goes at the 30.
I love the defensive effort there. They didn't get him right away. They stayed after him. He was scrambling, going backwards. They get the sack on the first play of the drive.
The Utes trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Oh, they're after him. Incomplete. He had to get rid of it before he wanted to. The defense put the heat on.
There's nothing better than being a defensive lineman in a defense period that pressure the quarterback, that gets hits on him, that make him feel uncomfortable, especially when you come into their building and you get everybody really, really quiet. That's a great feeling.
Tight end now in motion. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to turn one loose downfield. And the pressure was too much. They get him at the 15.
And I wish I could bring you some hope, but, man, this defense, again, you know, they already got the lead. They got their ears pinned back. They're rushing the quarterback. I know this one's over, but offensively, let's find a way to protect our guy, put something together. Maybe we find a way to make this respectable at some point in the football game.
Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. They'll start this drive at their own 48. Here's the handoff. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Well, not a great run there, but I think what the coaching staff is trying to do is they're trying to help out their quarterback. He's thrown interceptions on each of his last 2 drives. The best way to try to settle him down is to get the running game established. But I think the defense is aware of that right now, loading the box. Everybody up front is ready for the run.
Just a hair too much on it from this big-armed sophomore quarterback.
Well, give the defense credit because they're forcing this quarterback to throw into very small windows under duress.
They couldn't connect on second down, now staring at a 3rd and 9. Dropping back, it's Iamaleava. Fakes the grab. He's going to be a little short. It'll be 4th down from the 44. The Bruins want to pick up the tempo. On 4th down, they'll pass for it. Moves around to clear up the vision. Can't make the catch, and the defense will force the turnover on downs.
Well, they're unable to come up with that one on 4th down, and I remember this as a player. You practice specific plays on 4th down for those types of situations, and you know all week against the scout team, they've gotten really clean looks, easy to execute against. They didn't get a clean look that time, so you chalk it up to the defense and take note of it next time. You might not run that play again if you're in a similar situation.
Oh, he's got some space. And the big fella couldn't elude the quarterback who makes a sure tackle. And the Utes with myriad options after that big pickup on 1st down. Might be calling a hot route. They'll run play action. Here's a heat. Just too much of a rush, and down goes the quarterback just behind the midfield stripe at the 49.
The defense just simply not fooled by the play action. Oftentimes as an offense, you're hoping the run fake's going to slow down those pass rushers, but man, oh man, they had their ears pinned back.
Just this side of midfield, the defense trying to rise up on 3rd and short from the 49. From the gun, wants to pass. Spits it out to the back. Snagged in the middle, it's Parker. And he found all kinds of room and got it down to the 28.
That's a huge throw for the offense, but they're down by a ton. They're going to need a lot more of that, and it's not going to be easy considering the defense knows they're probably going to be throwing the ball every play here in the second half moving forward.
Back to throw, it's Dampier. Using his legs, keeping his eyes downfield. It's complete. Touchdown, Utes! Made the grab and took it on in for the score. Got to start cutting into this lead somewhere. Now the question, will they have enough time?
But that's step one. You got to get that first score. You got to get back in the ball game and get some of that momentum back on your side. You still got more work to do, but step one accomplished.
They're ready to kick it away, and this crowd is buzzing after that last score. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Leaves it with the back. Not much doing there. He gets it to the 26, a gain of 1.
And that run really didn't go anywhere. And a lot of times we don't focus on it enough, but how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Wants to go up top. Just a short pass to the tight end. He almost picked up the first down on that one, but he'll be just a little bit short. On third and short, trying to impose their will and move the chains. Absolutely nowhere to go as this defense makes a third down stop. They're throwing for it on fourth down. And they gambled in their own end, and now they give up really good field position.
Love the coverage on defense there. Fourth down. They were ready for the pass. You saw in the back end, great job being in position to make that play. And now their offense is coming on the field.
The Utah offense returns ready to go back on the attack. The last time they had it, they took it down the field for a touchdown. They can build some confidence that they could go back-to-back scoring drives here.
Yeah, and remember, it's not uncommon for offenses to find themselves as the game goes on. They had some things not go their way early, but they found something last drive, David. Let's see if they can build on it.
Yeah, you just pick and pick and pick until you find that place where you're like, okay, this is an advantage I have. They've clearly found that dude. They score here, we're in for a ball game.
To throw, it's Dampier. Rushes on him. Quarterback feeling that pressure, and he's knocked down at the 42. Man, he was back there and in the quarterback's face before the Bruin faithful could finish an 8 clap.
I mean, just getting off the ball so quick, penetrating. When you got defensive linemen that can get upfield, rush the quarterback, every Bruins fan will be jacked up.
Here's the pressure. And here's a fumble way behind the line. Defense trying to take it back. He almost popped out of there for a huge return, but they will take it. They are in business after the fumble recovery.
And that's why you got to avoid third and long situations if you're on offense, because the defense knows it's pass, and all these guys are pinning their ears back. They're getting upfield, and you're under so much duress. On top of that, you give up a fumble. That is a huge play for the defense.
This offense has it with really good field position. Gets it out quickly. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few.
UCLA 35, Utah 17.
It'll be second down as we open the final stanza. Out of the gun, they give to the back. Brought down after keeping those powerful legs moving, getting all he could. He'll be a few inches short.
And I know you can play these late game situations differently, but I love when you just stay physical. You run the football, you preserve the lead, you got great field position, you're in a great position to salt this clock away and get a W.
And the Bruins lining up, just needing a few tough inches on third down. All down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the first down.
And David, on third and inches right there, that's often a decision the quarterback predetermines. Who's my best guard? That's the guy I'm going to try to get behind.
And I know that defensively too, but I'm just trying to dive and create a pile, but it's so hard to stop that play. That's why you see it ran so successfully.
Finally, some signs of life from this offense, which has done nothing in the second half. It's 1st and 10. Back to throw. It's Iamaleava. Got his man. That one takes it down to the 13-yard line.
Nice job by the quarterback knowing where his answer was against the blitz and against man coverage, picking up that completion.
Operating in the red zone here on second down. Back to pass. And he throws another interception, his third of the night.
The most frustrating thing I see in football is when teams give up and they quit and they wave the white flag. It drives me nuts. You're on the field. Your job is to stop them. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard is. It doesn't matter how much time is left. Keep fighting. Keep grinding. You never know what can happen. Maybe you get hot. Maybe you make an all-time comeback.
Opening play of this drive comes from the 13-yard line. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
This offensive line is not going to like watching the film back tomorrow when they get the opportunity, because they have gotten beat time and time again up front, especially in passing situations. All of the hits, all of the sacks this quarterback has taken is the biggest reason why they're going to lose this game.
To the air on second down. Flushed out of the pocket. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down.
And that's kind of how their day's gone, right? Like they haven't protected their guy up front, and that's why they haven't been explosive and scored a bunch of points, man. Position number one for every offense. Like, if we're going to throw, we got to protect him. And just right there, he gets hit again. He's been sacked several times. Like, this offensive line's got to do a better job.
Trying to move the sticks on third down through the air. Got it set up on the outside. And that one looked great on the grease board, but when they blow it up like that, the defense is going to win every time.
Fourth down.
Down in the fourth quarter, it's too late for empty possessions. They'll go for it on fourth down. Quarterback may change this route. On fourth down, trying to find his man.
And I get it. At this point in the second half, dude, we got to make something happen. We haven't been good enough. We got to score a lot of points and quickly. You got to be aggressive. They tried. They failed again. This game is all but over.
And this, my friend, is what you call advantageous field position. Starting the drive with a first and goal. And they just tried to slam it in from the doorstep, but they went nowhere, and it'll be marked down at the 1. They'll try it again from the 1 on second and goal. Tries again to get it in. Touchdown, UCLA! And the pummeling has started.
And this offense looking more and more like themselves. This is what we're accustomed to seeing. Last week, more of a blip, right? 0-1 to start the season. Kind of had some bad vibes, some bad mojo. Bounced right back, putting up a ton of points. And this one is all but over. 1-1 is here for this team.
The kick is up and good, and put one more on the lead. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Boys, if it's happening in college football, we've got eyes on it. Check this out. Oregon State has the lead right now, but this Reser Stadium crowd is restless. They just haven't been able to separate themselves yet today. They're up by a field goal over Cal. We've got our eye on things here and everything else going on right now, and any updates, you'll see them here, guys.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Trying to hit the sideline on the right. Not much doing there. He gets it to the 26, a gain of 1. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. They'll try the run. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. 2 minutes now left in this one, and time is running short if they want to find a way to pull this one out. They'll turn to the Wildcat to keep this drive alive. On the snap, it's Parker. Quarterback moving out of the pocket. The defense is there, and a great job to keep him from getting to that first down marker. He's hard to get a handle on. It'll be 4th and short. On the direct snap, it's Parker. Gonna try turning it on. They bring him down, but that's why you give them that Wildcat look to create an opportunity for big plays. They're lining up in the Wildcat. Let's see what they have dialed up for this one. On the direct snap, it's Parker. He'll pitch it. And the fourth option there is to throw it in reverse, and that's what happened on that one.
Second down.
Really good job by this defense, understanding responsibility football, playing the first option, playing the second option. There was absolutely nowhere to go. Nice job being dialed in exactly where the ball was going and how to get him to the ground.
And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody. Same page. The Utes are way behind the sticks on this third and forever. Might as well stick with him. Collisions and power on display, and after all of that, just back to the line of scrimmage.
On the play.
How about the job by this defense today? They knew what they were getting into. A really good running back. We talked to him this week. It was the main focus point of this offense, stopping the run game, stopping the run game. Boy, have they showed up and showed out and answered that challenge.
Perhaps their punter is injured. Perhaps they don't like to punt. Perhaps they hold an inherent bias against kicking the ball to the other team. Whatever the reason, they'll go for it on 4th and a country mile. They'll finally drag him down, but not before he gets it to the 40, and it's a first down. No hesitation, no trying to baby the ball in there. He just fired it complete.
4th down, no problem. I'm just going to rip this to my wide receiver. He believed in himself. He knew he could get it, and they get the 4th down conversion.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
You got to give this defense credit because they have bottled this guy up all game long. He's one of the best running backs in all of college football. Everybody was expecting him to have a big one today. Don't tell that to this defense, though. They've played with great effort. They've gotten hats to the football, and they have been able to shut him down.
The old coaching cliche, go 1-0 every week. And for the first week, they get it done.
Great start to the season. That's what you want. You want to come out, find a way to win. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. You're going to find things to work on throughout the season. But 1-0, that's where you want it to be.
And I think if you're the coaching staff of this winning team, you've got to like what you've just seen. First game of the year, there was tremendous effort on the field. Guys flying around, flying to the football, trying to make the plays necessary to win this game. They definitely made a few mistakes, but that's what practice is for. But if you're the coaching staff, I think you're very, very positive right now moving forward.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.